Let's take a moment to think about something that happens every day but is often overlooked. Breakfast. Not just what we eat, but how it makes us feel afterward. It's a quiet moment in the morning. The sun filters through the window, the kettle whistles softly, and the house is calm. For many of us, this is when we settle into a routine we've had for years, perhaps even decades. But here's the question I want to gently ask you today. How do you truly feel after not just while you're enjoying it, but in the hours that follow? Do you feel light and alert? Or do you sometimes feel a bit tired, heavy in your stomach, a little achy in your joints, or maybe even just not quite yourself? If that sounds familiar, you're not alone. Let me introduce you to Irene. She's 71 years old, retired from teaching, and still sharp as ever. Every morning, she lovingly prepares the same breakfast she's had since she was in her 30s. 2 slices of toast with margarine, a glass of orange juice, and a banana on the side. It's comforting. It's what she knows. It makes her feel connected to her past. But lately she noticed something was changing. I'd eat breakfast, clean up, and by 10 a.m. I just wanted to sit down, she told me. My knees were stiff, my brain felt foggy, and my stomach felt a little off. I used to go out for a walk every morning. Now I was just staying in. She thought maybe it was part of getting older. Maybe her body was just slowing down. But deep down, she knew something didn't feel right. Eventually, after some encouragement from her daughter, Irene visited a dietitian who works specifically with older adults. After a few simple questions and a review of her eating habits, the professional gently pointed out that Irene's breakfast, though familiar, was actually not serving her aging body well anymore. The toast and margarine were highly processed. The orange juice was packed with sugar, even though it seemed healthy. And while bananas are nutritious, they can spike blood sugar if not paired with protein or fiber. That little routine she cherished. It was quietly stealing her energy. Changes, swapping her margarine for avocado, her toast for whole grain oats, and adding a boiled egg for protein, Irene started to feel different. It didn't happen overnight, but within a couple of weeks, she noticed her mornings didn't feel so heavy. Her brain felt clearer, her joints were less stiff. She even started walking again, slowly but steadily. That small change to her morning meal became a turning point. The truth is, our bodies change with age. That's not bad news, it's just something we need to honor. What worked well for us at 45 doesn't always serve us the same way at 65 or 70. Digestion slows down, blood sugar regulation becomes more sensitive. Inflammation can flare up from foods that never bothered us before. And yet the beautiful thing is this: once we begin to understand what our bodies are telling us, we can respond with kindness, not punishment, just gentle, mindful choices that help us feel our best. So, if you've been feeling sluggish in the mornings, or if something just doesn't feel right anymore, this may be the missing piece. In this video, we're going to explore 5 specific foods that are often part of a senior's breakfast. Foods that might seem healthy, or at least harmless, but can actually drain your energy, spike inflammation, or make it harder to feel vibrant throughout your day. But don't worry, we're not here to criticize or take away the joy from your meals. Instead, we're here to offer empowerment through understanding, through small changes, and through respecting the wisdom of our bodies as they evolve. So let's take this journey together, step by step, starting with your very first bite of the day. Let's begin with something that's in many kitchen cabinets, especially because it feels like a fast, easy, and even healthy option: breakfast cereal. Now, I'm not talking about those bright cartoon-covered boxes aimed at children, though they're certainly culprits too. I'm talking about the cereals that often seem like a safe choice for adults. Ones labeled whole grain, fiber-rich, or heart-healthy. Take Paul, a 68-year-old retired bus driver who takes pride in keeping his life simple. Every morning, like clockwork, he pours himself a bowl of bran flakes or granola with milk. It's quick, it's familiar, and he figured it was doing him more good than harm. But despite eating healthy, Paul often found himself crashing around 11 a.m. He'd feel jittery after breakfast, then sluggish. Sometimes he'd even get a slight headache or feel unusually hungry just a couple hours later. His doctor suggested he try tracking his blood sugar for a few weeks, and the results were eye-opening. That simple bowl of cereal, it was packed with hidden sugar, sometimes as much as 15 to 20 grams per serving. And let's be honest, most of us don't stop at the recommended portion size on the box. Cereals, even the healthy ones, are often full of refined grains and added sweeteners. When we eat them, especially on an empty stomach, they can cause our blood sugar to spike quickly and then drop just as fast. This roller coaster effect leaves us feeling tired, irritable, and often hungrier than before. For seniors, these fluctuations can be especially troublesome. With age, our ability to manage blood sugar becomes less efficient. Those quick highs and lows can impact not just energy levels, but also cognitive clarity, mood, and even heart health over time. So what can you do instead? Paul made a gentle shift. He swapped his sugary cereal for a small bowl of steel-cut oats, cooked slowly with water and a splash of milk, topped with cinnamon, a few chopped walnuts, and a few slices of pear. It took a little more time, but the results were worth it. His energy became more stable. He didn't feel that mid-morning crash, and he found that his cravings throughout the day decreased too. The lesson here isn't to throw away every box in your pantry. It's to become aware. If you check the label on your cereal, and sugar is one of the first 3 ingredients, or if it ends in O's like glucose or fructose, it may not be serving your body anymore. Even granola, which seems wholesome, can sometimes be just as sugary as a candy bar. Remember, your body is wiser now. It tells you things more clearly if we're willing to listen. So, as you consider your breakfast routine, ask yourself, is this giving me steady fuel or just a short burst of sweetness followed by a crash? Because what you eat first thing in the morning sets the tone for your entire day, and your day, your energy, and your well-being deserve better than a sugar spike wrapped in a health claim. Now let's talk about a breakfast item that's been a household staple for generations: white bread. There's something deeply nostalgic about a slice of warm toast in the morning. The smell alone can bring back memories of childhood kitchens, quiet mornings, and comfort. For many older adults, it's part of a well-loved routine. 2 slices of toast, maybe with butter or jam, alongside a cup of tea or coffee. Alice, a graceful 74-year-old who lives alone since her husband passed, holds tightly to her morning ritual. Every day I start with toast, she says. It's what I've always done. It's simple, it's fast, and it gives me a sense of normalcy. But Alice also began noticing something she couldn't ignore. After breakfast, her stomach would feel bloated. She didn't feel full for long, and sometimes she'd experience sudden dips in energy by mid-morning. There were days her knees felt more swollen and her fingers stiffer. Her doctor gently asked, "Tell me what you eat in the mornings." When she mentioned her white bread toast, the doctor smiled kindly and said, "That could be the beginning of the trouble." So, what's really going on with white bread? Well, even though it may seem harmless, white bread is made from refined flour, which has been stripped of its natural fiber and nutrients. What's left is a simple carbohydrate that turns into sugar almost instantly in your body. That quick conversion causes blood sugar spikes, similar to eating a candy bar, followed by inevitable crashes. But there's more. White bread offers little nutritional value. It doesn't contain the fiber your body needs to support digestion, nor the complex carbohydrates that provide slow, steady energy. And because there's no real staying power in white bread, you often feel hungry again soon after eating it, which can lead to overeating later in the day. For seniors, this matters even more. Our metabolism slows with age, and our sensitivity to blood sugar fluctuations increase. That seemingly harmless slice of toast could be contributing to joint inflammation, fatigue, or even long-term issues like insulin resistance. Alice was initially hesitant to change her routine, but after learning more, she made a small but impactful switch. She swapped her white bread for a slice of sprouted grain toast, which contains natural fiber, more protein, and a lower glycemic impact. She paired it with a little almond butter and a sprinkle of chia seeds. "It still feels like breakfast," she told me later, "but now I feel satisfied and lighter." The good news is that you don't have to give up your beloved morning toast. You just need to upgrade it. Look for breads labeled 100% whole grain or sprouted. Check the ingredients. If the first word is enriched flour or bleached flour, it's best to leave it on the shelf. Your body deserves food that nourishes, not just fills. And something as small as a slice of toast can either support your health or quietly chip away at it over time. Now, let's gently turn to a breakfast favorite that's beloved for its flavor and tradition. Processed meats, like bacon, sausages, and deli slices. For many older adults, these foods are a weekend treat or even a daily indulgence. They add richness to the plate and remind us of hearty meals shared with family. And yes, they're satisfying, there's no doubt about that. And food but here's what we need to understand. These meats may taste like comfort, but they often act like trouble, especially in a body over 65. Let me tell you about Janet, a 69-year-old widow who moved in with her son and daughter-in-law last year. To show her appreciation, she'd wake up early and cook a traditional breakfast for the family every Sunday. Fried eggs, buttered toast, and sizzling sausages. She loved the ritual. The smell of breakfast wafting through the house, the kids' sleepy smiles, the feeling of being useful again. It gave her a sense of purpose. But over time, Janet began experiencing discomfort, a nagging bloating in her belly, aching joints that didn't respond to her usual remedies, a slight rise in her blood pressure during her last checkup. Her doctor suggested she review her diet more closely. What she discovered surprised her. Those sausages, though savory and comforting, were filled with sodium, saturated fats. These ingredients are known to increase inflammation, stiffen arteries, and burden the digestive system. For seniors whose bodies are already working harder to maintain balance, this can tip the scales in the wrong direction. You see, processed meats are classified as Group 1 carcinogens by the World Health Organization, meaning there's strong evidence they can increase the risk of certain diseases. And while occasional consumption may not be harmful for everyone, routine intake, especially first thing in the morning, can slowly chip away at your long-term vitality. Janet didn't want to give up her special family breakfasts, and the good news is she didn't have to. Instead, she learned to make a few smart swaps. She began using turkey sausage or lean chicken strips instead of pork. She explored grilled mushrooms, lightly seasoned, as a meaty alternative. And on some mornings, she simply made eggs, with a side of sautéed spinach and tomatoes. Cooked in a small amount of olive oil, the results were subtle but powerful. She felt lighter, less bloated and more energetic. Her joints ached less, and she even felt more mentally sharp. Most importantly, she still got to keep her special ritual with her health intact. So, if you're in the habit of including processed meats in your breakfast, even just a couple of times a week, it might be worth taking a closer look. Your taste buds might enjoy the salt and fat, but your heart, joints, and digestion may be paying a price. Aging gracefully doesn't mean giving up flavor. It means learning to choose foods that love you back. For many of us, dairy is comfort. A warm glass of milk before bed, a slice of cheese with breakfast, cream in our tea or coffee. These are habits deeply woven into our daily lives. And for decades, we were told they're essential for strong bones and overall health. And in many cases, that's true. Calcium and vitamin D are important, especially as we age. But here's the honest truth. Our bodies change, and what worked in our 30s or 40s doesn't always suit us at 65 or 70. Let's visit Irene, a thoughtful and active 72-year-old who prided herself on eating well. Every morning she'd start her day with a slice of toast, a cup of coffee with cream, and a bowl of yogurt topped with fruit. It felt like a smart, balanced meal, but Irene started to notice some strange symptoms. She often felt bloated after breakfast, sometimes had unexpected gas, and occasionally suffered from stomach cramps that she couldn't trace back to any illness. "I thought maybe it was just age catching up with me," she said. But after chatting with her doctor and doing a bit of food journaling, Irene realized something surprising. Her dairy intake, especially in the morning, wasn't agreeing with her anymore. You see, as we age, many of us produce less lactase, the enzyme needed to break down lactose, the sugar in milk and dairy products. This means even if you were fine with milk in your younger years, your body might now be struggling to digest it properly. The result? Gas, bloating, indigestion, and sometimes even fatigue or joint aches. And beyond lactose intolerance, full-fat cheeses, cream, and some yogurts can be high in saturated fats, which in excess may contribute to higher cholesterol and inflammation, both of which many seniors are already trying to manage. But here's the beautiful part of Irene's story. She didn't have to give up her favorite morning routine. She made some gentle shifts. Instead of regular yogurt, she switched to unsweetened almond yogurt with added calcium. Instead of cow's milk, she began using lactose-free milk or fortified oat milk in her coffee. She kept her cheese consumption to a minimum and looked for aged, low-lactose varieties like Parmesan or Swiss. After a couple of weeks, she noticed a real change. No more bloating, more energy, a clearer mind. And she still got to enjoy her peaceful mornings, just without the discomfort. So, if you're experiencing stomach issues, unexplained fatigue, or even joint stiffness, take a moment to reflect on your dairy intake. It may not be the enemy, but it may need a gentle adjustment. Because sometimes respecting our bodies means letting go of what we used to need and embracing what serves us now. So here we are at the end of our breakfast journey, looking at the 5 foods that, over time, may no longer serve us as they once did. It's never easy to change old habits, especially when they're wrapped in memories of comfort and warmth. But, aging doesn't mean we have to lose the joy of food. It just means that we can start to nourish ourselves in new ways that love us back. By making small, mindful changes to our morning meals, whether it's swapping sugary cereals for heartier grains, choosing whole breads over white, rethinking our choice of processed meats, or adjusting our dairy intake, we can set ourselves up for days filled with steady energy, better digestion, and overall well-being. And it's not about perfection. You don't need to completely overhaul your entire routine today. Small shifts add up. Just like Irene, Paul, and Janet, you too can find alternatives that feel right for you, without losing the joy of breakfast. It's about discovering what truly fuels you, leaving you feeling satisfied, not sluggish, energized, not drained. Remember, your body is wise. It knows what it needs to thrive, and sometimes all it needs is a little nudge from you. So trust yourself, trust the changes you're making. As you move forward, let's make a promise to ourselves that we will continue to listen to our bodies, honor them, and adjust as we grow. Aging isn't a decline, it's a journey, and with every step we take, we have the power to choose what we put into our bodies, what we allow to nourish us. If you've learned something new today or found a fresh idea for your own mornings, I'd love to hear from you in the comments. What small change are you thinking about making? Is there something you've tried that has helped you feel better? Your story could inspire someone else in our wonderful community. If this video has helped you, please remember to like and subscribe for more tips and gentle guidance on living well at any age. The journey of health and wellness is never over, and we're in it together. Thank you for being here, and I'll see you in the next video.